Can we just talk about the anti-Blackness that exists in the Latino community? Because it's a real thing. And it is only further perpetuating the division between our two communities and contributing to the overall oppression of our two communities. And I know there's going to be some people out there that's like, that's not even a thing. That's not a real issue. But it is. I grew up hearing freaking racist remarks made towards Black people. And I heard it often. And I know so many other people did. And not only is it about anti-Blackness, it's also about internalized racism that some Latinos, including myself when I was a Can we just talk about the anti-Blackness that exists in the Latino community? Because it's a real thing. And it is only further perpetuating the division between our two communities and contributing to the overall oppression of our two communities. And I know there's going to be some people out there that's like, that's not even a thing. That's not a real issue. But it is. I grew up hearing freaking racist remarks made towards Black people. And I heard it often. And I know so many other people did. And not only is it about anti-Blackness, it's also about internalized racism that some Latinos, including myself when I was a
Now, this moment in history is so important because Latinos, la gente indígena, we're here and we're fighting for our recognition, we're fighting for our visibility, and we're not just taking up space, you know? We're demanding justice for ourselves. And we are recreating a new world. And it literally just takes one person, one idea, to build a whole movement. And our parents inspire our work, our ancestors inspire our work, and what we're doing right now is we're honoring the pain of our ancestors. You know, we have the talent and we have the skills passed down through our ancestors to create a better world for future generations. And so it's urgent. We all need to act immediately. We need to act yesterday. We all have the power to make change. So don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't, because they're just trying to gatekeep you from actually making impact in this world.
I face discrimination for speaking my native tongue. Time and time again, white sailors will butt into my private conversations to confront my friends and I for speaking Spanish. They will say things like, it's rude to speak Spanish. Stop speaking that language. This is America. And to be clear, this will happen when I was chilling with my friends, not doing work hours. There were times I felt helpless, like the system was against us, even though we had every right to speak our language. But I wasn't one to just sit there and take it. I will argue back, and that will often get me into trouble. But I didn't care because I was putting my life on the line for this country. And I'll be damned if someone's gonna restrict my freedom of speech. So to all the racists and xenophobes who keep telling us to speak English, listen up. It's disrespectful to tell anyone not to speak their native tongue. Because this is America, a land of immigrants, a melting pot of cultures where we could go to any restaurant and speak any language que nos pega la gana. And if you don't like it, too bad, because we're not going anywhere.
So are you mixed? Because it's all about what you look like. Mm-hmm. And they did not know what the hell to do with me because I had this Spanish, Latin last name, yeah. Right? I presented Black.
As Latinos, it's hard to find your place in this world, let alone the industry. And in my case, there were lots of times I wasn't white enough. But in Gina's case, she wasn't Latina enough or Black enough.
And in the Latin world, they weren't seeing me either.
At all.
at all. It was like, oh, we love Gina. Gina's great,
yeah.
but she's not really right for,
Right.
they're going another way,
Yes.
or they're, and the other way was always like that European standard.
Latin
of-
person, basically
Yes.
a white passing Latino. Yeah.
Yeah, preferably with an accent so
Yeah.
that there's no confusion.
Right.
I'm just gonna say something that needs to be said among Latinos, among the Latino community, especially among Chicano community, Mexican Americans, Latino Americans, okay? If it wasn't for Black culture, Black people, Black communities, Black leaders, Black artists, Black music, all of it, if it wasn't for that, we would have an entirely different experience in the United States. Here's the difference between Black folks and Latino folks. Black people in America, their ancestors fought for the rights that we all get to fucking enjoy right now. So many Latinos act like white folks just decided to give Latinos rights, just decided to let Latinos vote, just decided to put laws in place so that you could buy property. If it wasn't for Black leaders, Latinos wouldn't even be able to bring their kids to a public school. We have a lot of the privileges that we have today because of the Civil Rights Act, because of the Fair Housing Act, because of Voting Rights Act, which for those of you Latinos who voted for Trump, you're welcome. If you are Latino, you better recognize the gift that we were just handed from Black people. So it actually makes sense that more Latinos voted for this president because you didn't have to work for the rights that you were just handed. And don't worry, I will be talking about immigration too, but for right now, I just want to give Black people their flowers. I want to give Black artists their flowers. I want to give Black culture their flowers, because if it wasn't for them, I would not be who I am. Happy, beautiful, beautiful Black History Month from this Latina and most Latinos that have common sense.
Hi family, I'm Judy today. Welcome to my channel. Please let us watch out on this Latino community.
About the fact that Latino people are just biracial people. They are literally just codified biracial people, and they are the only codified biracial people in existence who have unified biracialness as well as culture, some form of language, identity, structure, etc., 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 right? Which is something in vast that most biracial people do not have. You know what I mean? We try to make biracialness a monolith, but it's quite literally impossible because identity is complex, right? It requires things. You can't just make an identity, right? It's complex. It requires shared culture, shared history, shared language, etc., etc. It requires some form of that, right? Across board in order for it to be sufficient for an identity, right? And Latino people are the only people who satisfy that call for identity. I mean, they have an identity, right? That we recognize by law. That's why the census is always so funny to me, because it's okay, are you a white Latino or are you a Black Latino, right? We completely disregard that there's an entire, possibly, race that was erased on two continents. If this concept kind of went over your head and you're how? So most Latino people, most, right? The average. Let's just start with by nation. Let's say we're talking about Mexico, for example, right? And Hispanic, but still Latino. They're gonna be 50% European and 50% some type of indigenous, right? That's biracial, ain't it? That's biracial in the purest sense. That's biracial. But they are their own people. They're their own group. They're their own history, their own language, etc., etc. I mean, it's purely them. That's most Latino people. Most Latino people have that same mixing of some sorts. 50% European, 50% indigenous or Black, right? African or whatever. That's the mix. That's the mix. Some of them got 25, 25, 25. But that's a mixed person. That's a real mixed person. And they're the only mixed people codified into law. Codified into history and existence. And I just find that so interesting.
If you're a Latina content creator searching for community, I'm just here to tell you there is such an amazing community of Latina creators on this platform. A year ago during Hispanic Heritage Month, I took the step to just say, hey, there's a lot of Latinas searching for community. Let's come together, support each other. And I have found so many amazing girls on here. The amount of support and love I have received from this online community is so special. And I want every single Latino creator to feel the same. So one of the things I did last year during Hispanic Heritage Month was start this Amigas group chat. If you're not part of it already and want to join, it is linked in my bio. And today we had one of our first calls. I'm really trying to get this rolling more and provide really amazing just ways to connect for our community. And I hopped on the call and the girls were so amazing. I loved meeting you guys. But if you're looking for community, join this. We send each other opportunities, advice, we engage with each other, and it's just an overall amazing community.
Yo, they say the blacks is next to get deported, man. They say ICE coming to get us, y'all. What we gonna do, y'all? We going back to Africa!
Hey guys, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And don't forget to drop your comments on the comment section.